Hello guys and welcome to today's video. I'm sorry I'm talking so close to the microphone. It's very late, my wife is sleeping and she's gonna kill me. But I just saw the patch notes and I need to talk about them real quick. I have the game in the background so that's why you're hearing all those noises. Nevertheless, this is very exciting. This is the land rush is finally happening. And a new region, there's so much to talk about, so let's get right into it. So the first things first, one thing that we've been asking for a while is finally coming, and that is the reputation and professions reset. This is a huge thing. I don't know if you saw my don't make my same mistake video, but I made such bad decisions when I was picking my reputation skill perks. So knowing that we're getting finally the reputation reset is fantastic. Now, with that said, though, I'm not really happy with how they're doing it. We're getting a free reset for both reputation and profession trees, allowing us to, redefine our choices, which is fantastic. This makes me very happy. What I'm not happy about is that we are gonna be able to do that anytime, meaning that you're gonna be able to buy it, and it seems that it's gonna be with 800 Raven coins, which comes down to about $5 per reset. See, because the cheapest pack is 1,650 Raven coins for $10, which comes down to you can basically, reset it 2 times with that thing. Now, I'm not mad about it. I'm actually happy that they're doing it this way because you will have to actually pay money to be able to do this. What I'm mad about it is that you are able to reset it multiple times. I like the idea of having to be very smart with your decisions and planning your path. Now, I made my mistakes at the beginning because I was not aware of how important the reputation system was, right? So that's why I'm happy everybody's getting a free reset, right? But I'm not really that happy by the fact that you're going to be able to reset it whenever you want, right? So if you have deep pockets, then this is something that you're going to benefit a lot from, right? But it is what it is. I'm just happy we're finally getting that reset. Moving on, we are getting the new region. It is absolutely massive. I'm super excited to go and check it out. It seems that it's considered in two regions. The Frost Steppes, that is all this northern part, and then the Elder Coast, which is down here. I wonder exactly which part would it represent which part, because if Frost Steppes is all of these and the river here is huge, while Elder Coast is very small down here. I'm very excited. Also, we have a trade pack post right on the top right corner, so I'm excited to see what that part is going to be all about. Also, it seems that there's a bunch of new monsters and, more importantly, 1,320 new plots of open world land. Now, I believe this number is talking about both servers, meaning Horn and Seraphim, but reality is like 660, I believe, for each, right? I probably didn't do my maths there properly. Nevertheless, it's something to be excited about. I'm sure they're gonna give us more details here as we scroll down, but this is super cool. I'm happy. I'm always happy when there's new content, and this for me is just really cool. Moving on, we got the two-handed sword outfit. They look absolutely badass. You know, the fact that that you only get to see a guy with a massive axe now, and now that's gonna change for the people who are using the two-handed swords. It is super cool. And the next one, hopefully soon, we will also get the axes outfits that look badass as well. But I'm happy. I'm really happy to see these kind of changes. Visual changes are always super pleasant. But more importantly, the fishing buffs. The fishing buffs are finally coming. I've been fishing forever trying to get those runes on Gilead, and it's been so painful. The whole experience is it feels like you're struggling so much for so little experience and so little money. Is horrible. So I'm happy to see that we're finally getting some fishing buffs, which are fishing experience on catch increased by 8%, which is very nice. That experience is super welcome. The base value of all fish increased by an average of 10%. That's very nice as well. At least we make a little bit more money, right? And then the health pool of fishing between fishing levels 10 to 40 reduced by 12%. This is great. This means that we'll be able to fish slightly faster. So overall, this is a huge thing. I'm very happy for all the people who are doing fishing. This is great. I'm super excited to be able to fish tomorrow after the land rush and everything, and be able to chill without having to feel like it is a struggle, right? Next, we got some miscellaneous updates, which is the server optimization. I'm happy to see that they're working in it. Apparently, the recent lag issues that we had was because of the community housing system and because there is frequent wars on the war mode channel. That's why when I try to play on the war mode channel a lot, it feels so laggy and it's so frustrating. So most of the time I end up leaving. Another little interesting thing that they also mentioned was a little bit about the numbers of Argenhorn versus Seraphine. It's an interesting note. If you guys want to read it, go ahead. I was hoping to see more actual numbers of the players of the player base. It will be super interesting to know how many players there is in the game at the moment, but sadly we don't have that information, right? Then they explained because apparently there were a lot of people who were a little bit mad about the trade pack unlock system of the trade post, because recently the wine and a few others got unlocked, and a few people got off guard and they were like, why is this unlocked already, blah blah. Well, I mean, to make it in simple words, is there's a threshold, right? After a certain amount of people reach that threshold, that location gets unlocked, and that is okay. So this is pretty much explaining that, right? Moving on, we got the general changes, which they are adding a mobile NPC for Rangers Company to the Raven store. I think this is huge for all those Rangers Company addicts, right? This is great. I'm very happy about that. There's a bunch of fixes as well over here. Talking about community land, for example, the community land now all costs will be 5% higher than the open world instead of previous 25% higher. This is a massive nerf on the open world land, right? So meaning that open world land will always be 5% better, right, than community land, but it's not that outrageous 25%, right? With that a lot of people were complaining about. So very happy that that is now in effect. So this is a positive thing for the world and the game's whole economy, right? After that, there's a few fixes. For example, the cold burial quest that a lot of people were exploiting, and many other fixes alongside with similar issues with other quests. I'm happy that that's been finally resolved. So I'm happy to see that the devs are actively trying to fix these exploitable quests. So great things that this is finally fixed. And moving on, right? If you guys want to read a little bit more about the fixes or the general changes, feel free to pause and check it out. Moving on to the fixes, there's a few mentions that was, which is very important, which would be the warehouses and trade packs is now properly working, because there was an issue before where the trade packs were getting stuck inside the warehouses, and apparently now that is finally fixed. In another important mention will be that the item Sorcerer's Ring is now providing the correct stats, so that's also a nice little fix. Same as the tasks 13 and 16 from the story quest that Cold Burial is properly working out, which is, again, they were kind of like abusing it, and that's not cool, right? There's a bunch of other fixes, but you feel free to pause it if you want to read more about it. I don't think there's nothing major to mention, right? And moving on, they mention about the balancing patches on coming about AoE builds, which is great because clearly there is a great difference on grinding, especially those mages and stuff. So let's see how they're gonna balance that. Maybe they will change something. Sorry about that. I'm looking forward to the next patch to see more about that stuff. Over here, they talk about power filling progressive changes, which is something I'm excited to look more into, because as you progress into the game, it feels a lot that you're like not progressing, that you're not feel stronger, and I don't know how they're gonna address that. So it's cool to see that they're actually addressing that now. Now let's go ahead and go into a more important topic, which is the medium and large community lands. They mentioned that they have successfully achieved the first step with the small houses, and they're very happy about with the results and everything. So now they're finalizing the steps on adding the medium and large community lands now, which is fantastic. This means this is probably coming on the next patch, which next patch is 1.06, right? So they will share a full breakdown about this topic on the patch notes. So it's great. This means this is probably 1 week or 2 weeks away, which is super great news. Now let's go ahead and talk about the land grab. That's correct. Tomorrow we are getting a massive land grab, and it's important to talk about it because if you want a medium house or a small house, you guys need to be prepared for tomorrow to be able to run to the new region, which is all this area that we mentioned earlier. Now, if you want to know where the houses are gonna be, it's a very easy method to know about it. And I will give you an example, right? If you zoom in into the map, you're gonna notice that there's like these kind of little squares, right? That they are marked with the plants, the trees, and so on. It's very easy to see them, to identify them, right? You can see these little squares all over the place, right? And if you look up here, this is a perfect example. This is one right here, another one right here, another one right here, another one right here. You can have a very clear idea of exactly where the medium houses are gonna be, where the small houses are gonna be. For example, all of this patch right here is full of medium houses, guarantee that. Then over here, there's a couple of small houses and so on. So whatever your strategy is gonna be, I wish you the best of luck. I really wish that you get that house that you really want, right? If it's, you know, one of those 600 houses that are gonna become available in this region, I really wish you guys the very best. And also, if you don't manage to get one house of this area, remember that you're gonna be able to grab one of the, you know, houses that are gonna become available the moment that an owner you know, gets a house over here. So if somebody grabs a medium house here that previously owned a small house, that small house will become immediately available wherever it is. So keep an eye on that, right? Now, with that being said, let me show you guys a little bit of interesting information about housing. So what I'm about to show you is what is the best optimal housing positions, right? This is something you can find for free on my Discord, so feel free to come check it out. It's gonna leave it on the link on the description below, right? So here we have a section that is called RD knowledge, where you can feel free to check out information like this, right? For a small house, this is the most optimal way to place it. So the pink square representing the door, to be able to have the best and optimal way to place a 2x2 you know, resource, right? And then you can have another example for the one by, you know, for the 1x1 placements, right? And you can also check the medium houses. For example, this is how I personally have my own house placed. And then you can also check out, you know, the 1x1s, which is pretty much the same, right? And then finally you will got the large houses, which if you are into that, I mean, if you're gonna be able to buy a large house, you know, that's great. Happy for you, and you know, give you a very good example of how that looks, right? So yeah, feel free to come and join us on Discord, get this information for free, you know, stuff, right? Anyway, with that being said, I wish you all the very freaking best. I wish you all a lot of success, and I wish you all to get those houses. I am Toto Torres. It's been a pleasure, but I gotta go to sleep before I wake up my wife, and she will kill me. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, and yeah, happy house hunting. Ciao.